There I am. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this another Blender stream. When last I left you, we were finishing up some of the parts on the head, mainly the chin, filling in the cheeks and the cranium here, back the neck. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to finish up the rest of the details on this head, hopefully get the head done tonight, and if there's time, if I'm feeling awake enough, move on and saw my background there for a second, and get started on the body as well. So, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat. I'm keeping my eye on it right here. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to leave a comment down below. And let's get this thing started. I've got one of my favorite soundtracks to one of my favorite video games of all time playing in the background, so you'll have that to enjoy. Hopefully it's not too loud. Alrighty. Excuse me. Alright. I'll bring that down. Looks like I'll probably need another edge. If I don't need it, I'd like to avoid it. think I'll be fine. Actually, all right, let's turn snapping off. Go and snap the head. Put this back and go ahead and shape it a bit. I'm wondering if I should go back to the sculpt and work on those ears. Might as well. Let me pull up some references real quick. Don't know what that's all about. Must have been something I saved. Here we go. It's a good one. Who's that? Since this is supposed to be a little more cartoony, it doesn't have to be too realistic. We'll try to get it at least close enough, just to give us a basis for what we're doing. So this can be fixed a bit. Let's pull these back. You know what? I want to make sure that I don't sculpt anything that I don't mean to, so I'm going to go ahead and mask this up. Go. Now we can sculpt without having to worry about affecting anything. Ooh. That's when this comes in handy. Alright. And smooth that out. Oh, Jesus. What's going on? This is... This is one of those cases where I'm probably going to have to decimate some geometry. So we'll go to collapse edge and turn this up to 10. back to subdivide edges. Let's keep this at 10. And let's see if we can smooth this out. What's going on here? Seriously. Oh, it would help, yeah, if the strength was up at max. Alright, so we got that. Smoothing out those, smoothing out those polys, although I would like it if they were just gone. There we go. Well, okay then. IPALA, yes, I am planning on getting into the industry. I've been applying for jobs like crazy ever since I got out of school, and no luck so far, but I'm still holding out hope. It's very difficult even to find like an entry level position, because a lot of the the companies that are hiring are mainly just looking for people who already have industry experience, so they're not looking to do a lot of training. Um, so there is that. How's my microphone now? Is it still low? Yeah, I realize Blender won't do if I'm planning on getting into the industry, and unfortunately I don't have the cash to buy a Maya license. Um, Not necessarily. I mean, I've had people, who are interested in me based on the stuff that I, had in my portfolio, and that was made mostly using Blender. Um, and it's not like I'm, ignorant of programs like Maya and 3ds Max. I did use them while I was in school, and I'm familiar with their setup. Trauma Qual, we're talking about finding jobs in the industry. Yeah. I've only ever really looked at Max once, and it was a whole different animal compared to Maya and Blender. Like Maya and Blender have some similarities between the two, but 3ds Max was um, just it was like stepping into an Apache helicopter for the first time. I had no idea what anything was. I'm looking forward to ZBrush Core, that program coming out. I hear it's supposed to be more artist friendly. So uh, once that comes out, I'm going to save up some money and take the plunge myself. Trauma Qua, you know, it depends on what you're asking. Are you talking about getting a job, or are you talking about just how long will it take to get good, or yeah, a year per category, pretty much. Yeah, it's good to find a specialty. Um, like I like to think of myself as a bit of a generalist, but um, I would definitely say probably my strong suit is modeling. But I would just say Trauma Qua. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Just download Blender if you haven't already, or if you've got the money, get like a license from Autodesk, and get Maya, and just like with anything, just work every day on something. Find a project and just spend all your time working on that, and then once you've reached a point where you're satisfied, or um, just move on to the next one. No, I wouldn't say there's no point in trying. I there's a non-commercial license from Maya. I know there's a student license, but I didn't know, is that the same thing, or are they different? Are they different? Oh shit, I had this on collapse edges. No wonder the details faltering. Trauma Qual, there's plenty of resources out there for you. So if you really want to get into it, I say go for it. There's CG Cookie for stuff like Blender and Max. There's Blender Guru, of course, which is one of the sites I use fairly frequently. Um, yeah, I figured. I actually do have. I actually think I can still get another student license because mine just expired, um, not that long ago, actually, like 8 days ago. But I think I'm still eligible for a new one. this ear looks like shit. Yeah, that looks terrible. Ugh. Looks like someone took a Ferengi ear and just shrunk it down, but it still maintained all of its thickness. What the fuck? There we go. Yeah, a year or so. I would say it probably takes a little longer to master the animation part, just because there's so many aspects to that. You've got there's rigging, then you've got to learn the fundamentals of animation. Then you got to learn stuff about in between animation, fine tuning it. Um, Trauma I don't understand the question. Are you saying you saw a 3D model that gave you inspiration or convincing? What's wrong with SketchUp? I'm not sure. I don't know how the chat works. You're welcome to try. Ooh, ArtStation. Let's take a look at this. Oh, damn. Yeah. Let's put that on the screen. This is, yeah, this is way above um, my skill set. Yep, ZBrush, 3ds Max, Mudbox. Why do you need two sculpting programs? Oh, I guess you probably use one of them for painting and the other for sculpting. Um, yeah, yeah. I look at shit like this and I sometimes ask myself, Jesus Christ, why do I even bother? Um, but I also see it as an incentive to keep trying. if yeah, if not that, then you know, because the guy who made that clearly spent a lot of time on it. Most character artists I know um, spend at least a month, at the very least, designing, modeling, and just creating a character from the ground up. That includes all the stuff like texturing, rigging, all that good shit. Um, and that's for like just a fairly decent character. Nothing like like that. Um, yeah, dedication indeed. What are you in school for, Trauma Qua? Are you going for 3D art, or is that just more of like a hobby for you? Ugh. Trauma Claw, I wish I would have done the same thing, because with computers, you can pretty much do this with a computer science degree as long as you've got the portfolio to back it up. But you can also do other things with a computer science degree. With me, I got a design degree, and before that, a degree in new media, and I feel like I kind of like backed myself into a corner just by doing that and sort of limiting my options. Um, but yeah, I would say, while you're in school, And if your college has like any kind of like computer art or 3D art sort of program, I would say take advantage of that. You know, take classes when you can. Use whatever facilities they have, and just spend your as much free time as you can as you can just learning this shit. Um, because a computer science degree in conjunction with a strong portfolio and a strong knowledge of this type of stuff will, you know, will almost guarantee you a job um, in the industry if you know that's what you want to you know shoot for. See, I got the degree in design, um, but I also have a shitty portfolio, so it doesn't do me much good. So I would say stick with computer science, but don't abandon art. You know, continue to, if you you know can spare the time, continue to study both disciplines. Maybe even go for a dual major if you can. It'll be a lot of work, but you know, but you'll be like a double threat once you graduate. Because I imagine there's all kinds of things you can do with a computer science degree. Anyway, this ear is starting to look less like shit, so I think I might move on to the Retapo phase soon. Let me know if the music's too loud, because I've been running into this problem where even if I have OBS, the OBS settings to the absolute minimum I can have them, the music still is just extremely overbearing. Ugh. Yeah. I mean, the ears look better, but they're still too big. No, you're fine. Yeah, at the end of the day, man, you can only really do, you know, what makes you happy. You know, I could have gone into, you know, something a little more stable, like, I don't know, like pre-med or law or something, you know, if I was smart enough for that to begin with, but I'm not. Uh, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, this is the stuff that gives me satisfaction in my life. Just working on this kind of stuff, and maybe I'll make it one day, maybe I won't, but that's not going to stop me from doing this in my spare time, and um, just doing what makes me happy. As saccharine as an answer that is, it's what I believe. It's how I feel. So. I think that's going to be as good a place as any to start. Let me just smooth out the edges here. Alright, and let me go ahead and alright, here comes the fun part. Trauma, you were asking for tips earlier. One tip that I would give is if there's like a common thing, whether it be a body part or an object that's uh, difficult to model, but it's fairly common, it's fairly ubiquitous. Like for example, like an ear. I would say have like a default model, like a default ear or hand or whatever that you can import into future projects. So that way, you don't have to, model the same thing over and over again with, maybe slightly different topology here and there. When you can just bring in an already made and easily editable, not edible, but you know what I mean, alterable object. It's something I keep telling myself I'm going to do every time, but I'm an insane person who just likes to do everything from the ground up whenever I start a new project. Okay. There we go. There we go. like that needs a little bit more, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that seems right. Okay. Oh. Holy shit. I didn't realize I was in ortho mode. Another thing I recommend when doing any kind of, especially any kind of organic modeling, is try to keep it real. Try to keep your geometry real simple, starting out, and just block in some of the major shapes. You could see when I was, starting out the ear. I'll just use. I wasn't. Oops. I wasn't just, adding geometry like this. I was doing it in these big, I was trying to cover these big areas with as little geometry as possible. That's going to make your life a whole lot easier, um, especially when you go in and, you know, add in some of that finer detail. I might have started a little too soon with that part of it, but it's not too bad. Let's, actually, I don't want to start connecting it now, just in case I add more geometry to the ear. I don't want to put edge loops along the face where I don't need them. This area right here is going to be tricky. Let's see, we're going to invert there, invert there. Turn this off just so that's easier to see. I think what I'll do is I'll make a triangle here. Normally triangles are are no-nos in 3D. But if you can, you know, hide them in a place that's not going to be, you know, looked at too closely, like, you know, the crevice of an ear, or maybe like even like in an armpit or something, then, you know, generally they're fine. I typically don't like to use them because I like consistency in everything, so I don't want to have to use like so if I want to just do so if I'm doing something mostly quads, then I'm gonna try to make it all quads. Okay. Plus, that was just something that was you know, that was just a point that I was always driven home by my original animation teacher. He always said, you know, just if you can avoid a triangle, do it. It's good to keep everything, you know, quads. What's this gonna do? It's gonna wrap around like that. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. No problem at all with that. In fact, that actually works out pretty well. Yeah, that gives it just a little bit more volume, I think. Alright. So we'll see if we can finish up this year, and then I'll call it a night. Pick this back up tomorrow night around the same time. Let's see. How's that looking? Not too bad. Gotta fill up these holes though. Let's see if we can do that. Without the model, without the sculpt. So I'm thinking bringing this down like that. So far, so good. Usually what I like to do is I just like to select the whole thing and just fill it in, and then try to fix it after the fact. So what do we got? How many points am I working with? First of all, 9. It's not an even number. If I bring that in, now I've got 10. And look at that. Everything connecting up pretty nicely. Now what I'll do is I'll select these, bring back the head, and just go ahead and use snapping to position those into place. Go ahead and shape that a little better. How's my audio, by the way, guys? Is the microphone still too soft, or is the music too overbearing? Oh, I still gotta fill on this right here, don't I? That worked out well. Yeah, I can't imagine watching these things, you know, that exciting. Like, I watch them because I'm a nerd, and that's my idea of entertainment is watching other people work on computer models. But for everyone else, you know, I can imagine this being pretty boring. Um, but I do them anyway to satisfy my own ego. Oop, missed one. Yep, I'm going to need an edge loop there too. Yeah. Yeah, this is probably way too much geometry, so I'm gonna have to find a way to clean this up. It's way too much geometry. But luckily, there are all a bunch of different tricks to simplify to simplify the geometry. Alrighty. So usually there. Look at that. Alright. Not looking too bad. Not looking too terrible. Oops. There we go. Yeah, it's funny. I said I wouldn't curse as much during these streams, but I have been pretty vulgar for a duration of this one. Alright, we're almost done here. I hope. I pray to God. And let's see here. What do we need? Need 2 edge loops here. Alright, let's see how it looks. Okay. Alright, yeah, with the subsurf on, it looks, you know, not half bad. Not great, but not half bad. Alright, well, I think that's going to do it for this stream, guys. Thank you for those of you who watched and who participated in the chat. It's the most active it's been for me in a while, so that was really cool. Be sure to, check me out on YouTube as well. I've got other videos on there that are more than just this. It's a bunch of drawing and kind of pre-visualization stuff. So I've also got a short film on my channel too. So if you want to check that out, it's just Joe Buer. That's my YouTube name. JoeBueHrer. But thanks again. And what I'm going to do from here, I'm not going to do this on camera. I'm just going to go ahead and finish up the rest of this ear and then connect it to the head. And that's all boring stuff, so no reason to stream it. And then the next stream I do, which will be tomorrow, hopefully, is we'll get started on setting up a base mesh to sculpt in this character's body. So again, thank you all for watching and participating in the chat, and hopefully I see you tomorrow night. Till then, peace.